Jason Herrera has been arrested and charged with abuse of his 2-month-old infant. The incident occurred at around 4:44 p.m. on the 17th of May 2022, when the authorities were dispatched to a home located in the 1000 block of Mescalada Avenue in Alamogordo, New Mexico, on reports of a baby choking. When first responders arrived, they found a child unresponsive and not breathing. Life-saving measures were performed on the baby before being rushed to the Gerald Champion Regional Medical Center in a critical condition. Emergency staff were able to stabilize the infant's condition, and the baby was flown to the hospital in El Paso, Texas. During the investigation, the authorities learned that the infant had injuries that were inconsistent with the statements provided by the child's parents. The baby had 14 broken ribs, 2 collapsed lungs, 2 broken femurs, a broken hand, and 2 brain bleeds. Detectives interviewed both parents of the infant and determined that the boy's father, Jason, to be responsible for the child's injuries. He was arrested and charged with abuse of a child, resulting in great bodily harm, and he's been held at the Otero County Detention Center. It's reported that the child's condition is improving every day. 48-year-old Braden Ward is behind bars after fatally stabbing his 50-year-old wife Jamie Ward. The events came to light on the 18th of May 2022, when the authorities responded to a report of a possible homicide at a home located in the 4700 block of West Maple Leaf Circle in Greenfield, Wisconsin. The police forced their way inside the house where no one answered, and they found Jamie's lifeless body in a bathtub, whom appeared to have been dead for some time. The authorities had acted on a report that was received from a family member living at a estate in South Dakota. Braden had called her to tell her that he cut his wife's throat about 2 weeks earlier and said her body was at his house. Braden wasn't home at the time the authorities arrived, who made contact with him over the phone. He told them that he was driving around, but he was willing to talk. He eventually told the officers that he was in his vehicle near the Whitnall View Motel in Franklin. The authorities responded to the scene and found Braden sitting in his car. He told police he was armed with a handgun, and after a brief standoff, he was taken into custody. While questioned, Braden told the officers that his wife had been suffering from chronic pain for 20 years. He said she began talking about killing herself with his help about a year ago. He said that on the 3rd of May, his wife asked him to end her life, which he agreed to. He grabbed a large knife from the kitchen, and as his wife sat on a stool in the shower, he stabbed her in the neck, and within 4 minutes she was dead. About an hour after killing her, he began stabbing her in the stomach, back and legs to drain the blood from her body. He said a few days later her body began to smell, so he began washing it daily and set up a series of fans to disperse the odour. Braden is charged with first-degree intentional homicide with a deadly weapon, and is held at the Milwaukee County Jail on a $1 million cash bond. If he's convicted, he faces life in prison. 19-year-old Andrew Huber Young has been arrested and charged with fatally shooting his 2-year-old niece and injuring his brother and father. The incident occurred at around 4:20 p.m. on the 21st of May 2022 at a home located along Creditford Road in Wales, Maine, after an argument erupted over a t-shirt that Andrew's brother was wearing that belonged to him. Things escalated, so the father asked Andrew to leave, so he did. Andrew and his brother continued arguing via text messages. Andrew later returned to the home with a gun that he stole from his dad. He opened fire inside the house, hitting his father in the face and his brother in the left shoulder. Although they were wounded, they were non-life-threatening injuries. Andrew's niece, however, was critically injured after a bullet went through her left arm and pierced through her chest. She was rushed to the York Hospital, where they tried applying life-saving measures on the girl, before being airlifted to the Maine Medical Center in Portland, where she passed away. Andrew was arrested and is held at the York County Jail without bail.